This is a football story. This is a story of love of a man and his team. This is the story of Sir Bobby Robson and Newcastle United. In the annals of football history, few tales resonate as deeply as that of Sir Bobby Robson and his beloved Newcastle United. Their bond, forged in the fires of adversity, serves as a timeless example of what can transpire when passion, resilience, and unwavering commitment converge. This is their story. To truly appreciate how Robson breathed life back into Newcastle United, one must peer into the depths of their downturn in the late 1990s. Having tasted the sweet nectar of success under Kevin Keegan, the club found itself teetering on the precipice of disaster. Relegation loomed, casting a dark cloud over St. James Park. The club's identity was in peril, their very soul at stake. The entertainers had run their course, leaving behind a legacy of what could have been. Enter Sir Bobby Robson, a man who seemed destined to lead the Magpies from the shadows of despair to the heights of glory. Robson, a Geordie through and through, carried with him the hopes and dreams of an entire city. His homecoming was not merely a professional engagement, it was a homecoming of the prodigal son. Robson inherited a squad devoid of confidence, a club steeped in uncertainty, and a fan base yearning for a savior. Tasked with the monumental challenge of resurrecting Newcastle's fortunes, Robson's first order of business was to instill belief. He reorganized the dressing room, forging a sense of unity that had been fractured for seasons past. His methods were rooted in empathy, understanding that the players needed more than tactical guidance. They needed a father figure to steer them out of the quagmire they found themselves in. With gentle encouragement and firm direction, Robson coaxed the best out of his charges. As the weeks turned into months, the transformation became evident. The team's body language shifted, reflecting a newfound confidence. The timid displays were replaced by spirited performances. The turning point arrived in the form of a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Sheffield Wednesday in his first home game. It was not a victory of style or substance, but it was a win nonetheless. And it ignited a spark that would reverberate throughout the season. That victory over Sheffield Wednesday on October 1999 was more than just a 3-point haul. It was a shot of adrenaline into the veins of a deflated club. From that moment, the shackles of defeat began to rust and a sense of belief started to permeate throughout the team and the terraces of St. James Park. Robson's tactics were straightforward, centered around an attacking ethos that belied his reputation as a pragmatist. He deployed a fluid 4-4-2 formation that allowed his creative players to flourish. At the heart of this approach was the potent strike force of Alan Shearer and Duncan Ferguson, two men whose names are etched in Newcastle folklore. Shearer, a local lad who had donned the black and white stripes with distinction, was the talisman. His predatory instincts in front of goal were complemented by Ferguson's tireless work ethic and physicality. The duo formed a formidable partnership that struck fear into opposing defenses. However, the brilliance of Robson's tactics lay not just in the final third, but in the intricate interplay between the lines. Wingers like Gary Speed and Steve Howe were given license to roam, providing width and penetration. The midfield trio of John Jensen, Noel Berdo-Solano, and Kieran Dyer was a study in balance, offering a potent mix of creativity and steel. Robson's first full season in charge witnessed a remarkable resurgence. Newcastle clambered up the table, leaving their relegation worries far behind. A 10th place finish was a respectable outcome, but it was merely a prelude to what was to come. The 2001 campaign was nothing short of sensational. Robson's men finished an impressive 4th, securing a coveted spot in the UEFA Champions League. This feat was all the more remarkable considering Newcastle's modest budget compared to their rivals. It was a testament to Robson's man management and his ability to get his players to overachieve. St. James Park became a cauldron of noise as the Magpies faithful roared their team to victory after victory. Each home game was a spectacle, a celebration of attacking football and unwavering support. The following season, though less successful, still saw Newcastle challenging for honors. A 5th-place finish in 2002-03 ensured European football once again. But lurking beneath the surface were the seeds of discontent. Robson's relationship with the club's hierarchy soured over transfer policy, and a growing pressure to challenge for the Premier League title began to take its toll. In August 2004, the unthinkable occurred. Robson was dismissed with the club languishing in mid-table. The shockwaves were immense. Fans protested, players were devastated, and the club's hierarchy faced scathing criticism. Robson's departure was not just the loss of a manager, it was the departure of a legend. Sir Bobby Robson's impact on Newcastle United transcended the realm of statistics and trophies. He was the architect of a style of play that captivated audiences and the father figure the club's players desperately needed. During his tenure, he instilled a sense of pride and purpose that had been absent for years. Robson's teams played with an attacking verve that brought joy to the stands of St. James Park week after week. They were not just a football team, they were ambassadors of a city, carrying with them the hopes and dreams of generations of Newcastle fans. Under Robson's guidance, St. James Park became more than a stadium. It transformed into a fortress of unity and solidarity. The Magpies faithful, known for their passionate support, stood shoulder to shoulder, singing songs that echoed the fighting spirit of their team. The bond between the players and the supporters was palpable, creating an atmosphere that intimidated opponents and inspired the players to greater heights. However, it was during their European campaigns that Newcastle truly came alive on the grand stage of European competition. Robson's men acquitted themselves brilliantly, showcasing the Premier League's quality to a global audience. The Champions League nights were magical, with St. James Park bathed in the glow of European spotlights. The roar of the crowd reverberated across the continent, carrying tales of a team that refused to be daunted by bigger, more illustrious opponents. But perhaps what made Robson's legacy at Newcastle even more profound was his humanity. He was a leader who understood that his players were not just athletes, but human beings with hopes, dreams, and vulnerabilities. Robson's empathy and understanding created a dressing room where players felt valued and supported. His legacy at Newcastle is not just about the victories or the near misses. It's about the values he espoused and the impact he had on the people of Newcastle. He was more than a manager, he was a symbol of the indomitable spirit of the city. His statue outside St. James Park is a constant reminder of the love and respect that binds them forever. Sir Bobby Robson's tenure at Newcastle United was a golden era, a period when the club scaled new heights and captured the hearts of football enthusiasts worldwide. His legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that with passion, unity, and a shared purpose, even the most challenging of situations can be overcome. If you enjoyed this video, please consider showing your support. Thanks for watching. In the annals of football, few managerial transformations are as remarkable as that orchestrated by Sir Bobby Robson at Newcastle United. When he took over in September 1999, Newcastle was teetering near the precipice of relegation. The team lacked direction, confidence, and a clear identity. But under Robson's steady hand, the club not only avoided the drop, but soon found itself challenging for major honors. So what made Robson's tenure so successful? How did he turn Newcastle from relegation fodder to European contenders? And how did his tactical acumen and man management skills shape the club's playing style? Join us as we delve into the archives to explore how Sir Bobby Robson transformed Newcastle United, one of football's most beloved and enduring clubs. Robson's task, a relegation battle and a call for change. When Sir Bobby Robson arrived at Newcastle in September 1999, he inherited a team that was in trouble. They were languishing near the bottom of the Premier League, having won only 2 of their opening 8 matches. The previous season, they'd managed a respectable 9th-place finish, but this start was alarming. To make matters worse, the club's star player, Alan Shearer, had endured a dip in form and injuries. The team's lackluster performances had left fans disillusioned, and the atmosphere at St. James Park was one of growing discontent. Robson's appointment was therefore a signal of change, a call for a new direction. In his previous roles at PSV Eindhoven, Sporting CP, and Barcelona, Robson had demonstrated an uncanny knack for getting the best out of his teams. He won league titles in Portugal and the Netherlands and had reached the semi-finals of the Champions League with Barcelona. His pedigree was evident, yet the task before him on Tyneside was daunting. Not only did he have to lift a team out of a relegation battle, but he also had to do so with his squad that lacked cohesion and confidence. The turning point, Robson's first season, and a new identity emerges. Despite the bleak situation, Robson's first season in charge proved to be a resounding success. He masterminded a remarkable run of 11 games unbeaten, which included a 3-2 victory over Liverpool at Anfield. This run not only lifted the team out of the relegation zone, but also announced to the league that Newcastle were a force to be reckoned with. It was during this season that the core of Robson's philosophy at Newcastle began to take shape. One of the most noticeable changes was the team's newfound defensive solidity. Gone were the days of reckless abandon at the back. Robson instilled a sense of organization and discipline, urging his players to hold their positions and communicate effectively. This tactical shift wasn't a betrayal of Newcastle's attacking DNA, but rather a necessary balance. As Robson himself put it, you must always attack, but you don't have to leave yourself open at the back. This principle became the bedrock of Newcastle's play under Robson. Key to this transformation were the performances of the Magpies' full-backs, Warren Barton and Olivier Bernard. Rather than simply bombing forward, they were instructed to maintain width and support the midfielders in both attack and defense. This subtle change added a layer of sophistication to Newcastle's play, making them more coherent and effective going forward. Meanwhile, central defenders like Aaron Hughes and Andy O'Brien blossomed under Robson's guidance, becoming key figures in one of the league's meanest defenses. In midfield, Robson's influence was equally profound. He assembled a quartet of tenacious ball winners and creative playmakers who could both break up opposition attacks and launch swift counter-attacks. Among them, the pairing of Gary Speed and Kieran Dyer was instrumental in unlocking defenses with their combined energy and technical ability. Up front, Alan Shearer, despite being past his prolific best, profited from the service provided by the midfield. His movement and experience became a focal point of Newcastle's attack as he linked up play and held the ball up effectively. The impact from relegation battles to European glory under Robson's stewardship, Newcastle's fortunes underwent a dramatic reversal. The team that had started the season teetering above the relegation zone finished in 6th place, securing a spot in the UEFA Intertoto Cup. This marked the beginning of a golden era for the club. In the following seasons, Robson's men consistently challenged for a top-4 finish. They were beaten finalists in the FA Cup, losing narrowly to Manchester United in a replay at Old Trafford. Their league form also impressed, finishing as runners-up in the 2000-2003 Premier League, their highest league position since 1996. This consistent success was a testament to the manager's ability to build a squad capable of competing at the highest level. However, it was in Europe where Robson's Newcastle truly shone. In the 2002-2003 season, they reached the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League, where they were agonizingly knocked out by eventual champions AC Milan. This run, which included victories over Juventus and Deportivo La Coruña, showcased the team's quality and tactical flexibility. Robson had demonstrated that his team could compete with the elite European sides, holding their own in both attack and defense. Robson's legacy, more than tactics, a reshaped identity. Sir Bobby Robson's impact on Newcastle United transcended mere tactical innovations. He reshaped the very identity of the club, instilling a sense of pride and purpose that had been missing for years. His contribution to the club's history is immeasurable. His tenure was marked by an attractive brand of football that combined defensive solidity with attacking flair. He achieved this by encouraging his fullbacks to support the midfield and by building a midfield that could both break up opposition attacks and launch swift counter-attacks. Up front, he utilized the experience and movement of Alan Shearer to devastating effect. Beyond tactics, Robson was a master of man management. He inspired confidence in a team that had been low on self-belief, coaxing the best out of players through encouragement and clear communication. His ability to read games and make decisive substitutions also played a crucial role in turning matches in Newcastle's favor. Perhaps the most enduring aspect of Robson's legacy at Newcastle is the sense of community he fostered between the team and the fans. His down-to-earth nature and genuine warmth endeared him to the supporters, who saw in him a reflection of their own passion for the club. He understood the emotional attachment Newcastle fans had to their team, and he reciprocated that passion in kind. However, the story doesn't end there. After his departure from Newcastle in 2004, Robson continued to manage at the highest level, taking charge of the Portugal national team and then English rivals Chelsea and West Bromwich Albion. Throughout his career, he remained true to his principles, emphasizing the importance of youth development and attacking football. As Sir Bobby Robson's star shone brightly in the twilight years of his life, he returned to his first love, Newcastle United, serving as a club ambassador and enjoying the fruits of his labor. The team he helped build went on to enjoy sustained success, qualifying for the Champions League on several occasions and reaching the FA Cup final in 2005. In conclusion, Sir Bobby Robson's impact on Newcastle United was nothing short of transformative. He took a team on the brink of disaster and molded it into a force to be reckoned with both domestically and in Europe. His tactical acumen, man management skills, and deep understanding of the club's culture left an indelible mark on the team and the fans. Robson's legacy lives on at Newcastle, a constant reminder of the club's rich history and the enduring power of footballing excellence. Sir Bobby Robson's tenure at Newcastle United was one of the most exciting and brilliant periods in the club's history. The veteran manager successfully restored the team to the top competitions thanks to a series of intelligent signings that transformed the club's trajectory. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And today, we're going to take a look at how Sir Bobby Robson built his dream team in Newcastle United. So let's begin. Robson arrived at Newcastle in September 1999, with the club hovering around the relegation zone after a string of poor results. The Magpies had just lost their opening for Premier League games, scoring only 1 goal and conceding 12. To make matters worse, they were also bottom of their UEFA Cup group with 2 defeats from 2. Nevertheless, Robson, who had previously managed the likes of PSV Eindhoven and Barcelona, was confident in his ability to turn things around. With astute managerial skills and an eye for talent, Robson quickly got to work on rebuilding the squad. One of his first notable decisions was handing a first-team call-up to local lad Michael Chopra, who became the youngest player to represent the club at 17 years and 83 days old. While it didn't bring about an immediate turnaround, it demonstrated Robson's commitment to nurturing young talent. But it was his next move that truly signaled his intent. Despite the club's financial constraints, Robson secured the signing of the legendary striker Alan Shearer. At the time, Shearer was not considered worth the investment due to his advancing age and injury concerns. But Robson saw potential in the striker and was willing to take a chance on him. This proved to be a masterstroke as Shearer went on to become the club's all-time leading scorer and a pivotal figure in their resurgence. However, it wasn't just about big-name signings. Robson also brought in a host of other players who would form the backbone of his team. Craig Bellamy, who joined from Liverpool, was one such player. The Welshman had shown glimpses of brilliance at Liverpool but struggled to secure a regular starting berth. Under Robson at Newcastle, Bellamy blossomed into one of the most feared forwards in the Premier League. With his blistering pace and technical skills, he tormented opposition defenses, and his partnership with Shearer formed one of the most potent attacking duos of the era. In midfield, Kieran Dyer, signed from Wimbledon, became a key player for Newcastle. The tough-tackling box-to-box midfielder was instrumental in providing both defensive stability and attacking impetus. His excellent vision and passing range enabled him to dictate the tempo of games, while his tireless work rate and tenacity made him a fan's favorite at St. James Park. In defense, Jonathan Woodgate arrived from Leeds United and partnered the experienced and dependable Nikos Debizes in central defense. Woodgate, known for his strength and composure, excelled in aerial duels and was also adept at playing out from the back. His partnership with Debizes provided the defensive solidity that allowed Newcastle to flourish going forward. Another crucial addition was the signing of the Irish goalkeeper Shay Given. Although he had already established himself first choice at Newcastle, Given's performances under Robson's guidance reached new heights. The shot stopper's agility, reflexes and command of his area made him a formidable presence between the posts, often thwarting opposition attacks and keeping clean sheets in crucial matches. Finally, the signing of Laurent Robert from Paris Saint-Germain added further firepower to Newcastle's attack. The French winger was a tricky customer with dazzling dribbling skills and an eye for a spectacular goal. Robert's ability to beat his marker and deliver accurate set pieces made him a constant threat, and he formed an understanding with Bellamy and Shearer that caused havoc for opposing defenses. With these key players in place, Robson implemented his favored 4-4-2 formation, which emphasized attacking football and quick transitions. The system allowed Newcastle's creative players like Dyer and Robert to flourish, while also providing width and balance to the team. Now let's analyze why these signings had such a profound impact on Newcastle's fortunes. Shearer, despite his age, still possessed an incredible goal-scoring instinct and netted 20 or more Premier League goals in 3 of his 5 full seasons at Newcastle. His presence not only provided a focal point for Newcastle's attack, but also instilled confidence in his teammates. Bellamy's arrival added a new dimension to Newcastle's attack with his pace and trickery. He stretched opposition defenses, created space for his teammates, and also chipped in with important goals. His partnership with Shearer proved to be one of the most formidable in Premier League history. Dyer was the engine in Newcastle's midfield, driving forward with purpose and tenacity. His passing range and vision enabled him to unlock defenses and create scoring opportunities for his teammates. He formed a creative and dynamic partnership with the more experienced and composed Christian Basidas, allowing Newcastle to dominate midfield areas and dictate the tempo of games. Woodgate's arrival brought much-needed stability to Newcastle's defense. His strength and composure enabled him to dominate in aerial duels and distribute the ball effectively from the back. Alongside Debizes, Newcastle's defense became less porous and provided a solid foundation for their attacking play. Given's consistent performances between the posts provided the platform for Newcastle's success. His shot-stopping abilities and commanding presence instilled confidence in the team and frustrated opposition attackers. Given's heroics in big matches earned him the adoration of the fans and established him as one of the Premier League's finest goalkeepers. Robert's trickery and dead ball expertise added unpredictability to Newcastle's attack. His ability to beat his opponent and deliver accurate crosses and free kicks created numerous scoring chances for Shearer and Bellamy. The wide man's flair and creativity made him a fan favorite, and his understanding of his teammates' runs caused constant problems for opposing defenses. The impact of these players on the team can be seen in Newcastle's subsequent performances. Under Robson's guidance, they finished 4th in the Premier League in both the 2001-2 and 2002-3 seasons, earning qualification for the UEFA Champions League. In the Champions League, Newcastle made it to the quarterfinals in 2002, where they were narrowly defeated by reigning European champions Real Madrid. Their attacking play and fighting spirit impressed many, and they became a formidable force on the European stage. Unfortunately, Robson's time at Newcastle was eventually cut short due to health issues. He managed the club for 9 years, overseeing 391 games and winning 173 of them before leaving in May 2004. Despite his departure, his legacy at Newcastle lives on. The players he signed and the tactics he employed left an indelible mark on the club and its supporters. What do you think of Robson's legacy at Newcastle? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing football content. Thank you for watching. In the unpredictable world of football, where fortunes can change faster than a player's footwork, there are moments that transcend the beautiful game. Moments that linger in our memories, shaping the narratives of entire generations of fans. One such saga unfolded in the hallowed halls of Europe's premier club competition, the UEFA Champions League, back in the 2002-03 season. A season that witnessed the rise of Newcastle United, a team that wasn't just playing football, but living it. They weren't just competing, they were conquering hearts. And at the helm of this glorious journey stood Sir Bobby Robson, a man whose name became synonymous with courage, determination, and an unwavering belief in the power of dreams. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we delve into a tale that echoes with the passion and drama that have made the Champions League a global spectacle. Join us as we revisit the heroic 2002-03 Champions League campaign of Newcastle United, a testament to the indomitable spirit of this legendary team and the maestro behind their symphony, the great Sir Bobby Robson. The story of Newcastle United's foray into the 2002-03 Champions League is one of those tales that stirs the soul of every football aficionado. It's a narrative of resilience, teamwork, and the pursuit of excellence. To truly understand and appreciate this epic journey, we must rewind the clock back to the end of the 2001-02 Premier League season. Newcastle United had fought tooth and nail to secure the fourth and final UEFA Champions League spot, a feat in itself considering the fierce competition from other top clubs in England. This qualification meant that the Magpies were about to step onto the biggest stage in club football, a platform where legends are made and dreams are realized. But as they basked in the glory of their achievement, they knew that what lay ahead was nothing short of a daunting challenge. Robson, the architect of this journey, was no stranger to the pressure cooker environment of top-level football. With stints at prestigious clubs like PSV Eindhoven, Sporting CP, and Barcelona under his belt, he brought with him a wealth of experience and tactical acumen. His time at Barcelona had not only honed his skills as a manager, but had also forged a deep connection with the Camp Nou faithful. In fact, it was here that he earned the nickname Don Bobby, a title bestowed upon him by the adoring Barcelona fans in recognition of his charisma and achievements during his tenure. This nickname would follow him throughout his career, a constant reminder of the legacy he built in Spain. Upon his arrival at Newcastle, Robson had set about the task of transforming the team into a force to be reckoned with, and boy, did they deliver. The squad boasted a potent mix of youth and experience, with players like Alan Shearer and Gary Speed leading the line alongside the exciting prospects like Kieran Dyer, Jermaine Genius, and Lee Bowyer. This blend of veteran know-how and youthful exuberance made for a team that was not only technically gifted, but also brimming with an infectious energy. As the 2002-03 Champions League group stage draw loomed, anticipation hung heavy in the air. The group stage was the acid test, the initial hurdle that separated the contenders from the pretenders. Newcastle found themselves in Group G, a pool of death that also included the likes of Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Bayer Leverkusen. On paper, it was a group that seemed to be a bridge too far for the Magpies. But then again, as they were about to demonstrate, this Newcastle team was not one to shy away from challenges. Their journey kicked off with an away tie against Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. As the whistle blew, the players took to the field, each step echoing with the hopes and dreams of a city, a team, and a manager. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the raw energy that only a European night can bring. From the first exchange of passes, it was evident that this was not going to be a walk in the park. By the final whistle, Bayer Leverkusen had secured a 2-0 victory, leaving Newcastle with a mountain to climb in their quest to advance. Back at St. James Park for their second group stage match, Newcastle welcomed Dynamo Kiev of Ukraine. The home crowd roared with anticipation, eager to witness their heroes in action. Robson's men were determined to make amends for their opening day loss, and make amends they did. The match ended with Newcastle securing a comfortable 2-0 win, restoring some pride and boosting their chances of progressing to the knockout stages. The goals came from Craig Bellamy and Alan Shearer, two of the team's key attacking threats who spearheaded their charge throughout the tournament. With their first win under their belts, Newcastle set their sights on the ultimate prize, the knockout stages. But to achieve this, they needed a favorable result in their third group match, a clash against none other than Barcelona at Camp Nou. The stage was set for a clash of titans. The Camp Nou, home to one of the greatest clubs in footballing history, was reverberating with excitement. For Robson, it was a homecoming of sorts. He had managed Barcelona between 1996 and 1997, leaving an indelible mark on the club. The stands were adorned with banners displaying messages of welcome, underscoring the affection he still held for the Blaugrana. But amidst the nostalgia, there was a job at hand, a match to be won. Despite the passionate support of the home crowd, Barcelona was made to pay dearly for underestimating their opponents. Newcastle, with their backs against the wall, defended with the tenacity of a wounded lion, frustrating the Catalan giants at every turn. The match ended with a 3-1 victory for Barcelona, a respectable result for Newcastle considering the strength of their opponent. Though disappointed with the loss, Robson saw glimmers of hope. His team had managed to hold their own against some of the best players in the world, a testament to their spirit and resilience. As the group stage drew to a close, Newcastle's fate hung in the balance. They were in a three-way tie for second place, a position that would grant them a spot in the knockout stages. The final group match was against Inter Milan, a fixture that promised to be as dramatic as it gets. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The San Siro, home to one of Italy's most successful clubs, Inter Milan, was the battleground for this decisive encounter. The Nerazzurri faithful packed into the stands, creating an intimidating atmosphere that was only matched by the tension on the pitch. From the kickoff, it was clear that both teams were leaving nothing in reserve. Inter Milan, with their star-studded lineup, pressed hard, forcing Newcastle into defensive mode. However, the Magpies, with their backs against the wall, held firm, their defense a fortress of grit and determination. Despite their valiant efforts, Newcastle succumbed to pressure, going down to 2-1 to Inter Milan. While the result was a setback, it was the performance that truly mattered. Newcastle had shown that they belonged in this company, that they were more than capable of competing with the elite. The final group standings saw Newcastle finish in third place, narrowly missing out on a spot in the knockout stages. However, the manner in which they had competed, the heart they had shown, and the respect they had earned from their opponents had etched their names in the annals of European football. Sir Bobby Robson's legacy at Newcastle United was one of courage, resilience, and unwavering passion for the game. His impact on the club and the sport as a whole was immense. He didn't just manage a team. He led a movement that inspired generations of players and fans alike. His contribution to Newcastle's run in the 2002-03 Champions League was nothing short of monumental. He guided the team through a group of death, earning respect and admiration from some of Europe's most formidable clubs. As we reminisce about Sir Bobby Robson's incredible journey with Newcastle United in the 2002-03 Champions League, we are reminded of the indelible impact he had on the world of football. His story is a testament to the power of perseverance, the beauty of the underdog story, and the unifying force of a sport that transcends borders and touches hearts. Thank you, Sir Bobby, for the memories, for the inspiration, and for showing us that in football, as in life, it's not about where you start, but about how you finish. And as the legendary commentator Martin Tyler once said, it is the very definition of the word football romance. That's all for today, folks. What are your thoughts on the heroic journey of Newcastle United in the 2002-03 Champions League? Remember to drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more captivating content. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sir Bobby Robson, a name synonymous with tactical nous, man management, and an unwavering commitment to attacking football. A man who defied the odds and proved that with meticulous planning and an unwavering belief in one's philosophy, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. His career was a masterclass in balancing the grueling demands of domestic leagues with the intense pressures of European competitions. And today, we are going to uncover the secrets behind his extraordinary success. His journey began at Portman Road, where over 7 years he transformed Ipswich Town from also-rans into a team capable of challenging the status quo. Upon his arrival in 1969, the club was in the second division and the task ahead seemed daunting, but Robson was undeterred. Working closely with his assistant, the legendary John Waddle, he instilled a culture of hard work and discipline. While the Tractor Boys won promotion back to the first division in 1970, it was the following season that truly showcased Robson's genius. Ipswich finished as runners-up, securing a spot in the UEFA Cup. It was a remarkable achievement for a club with limited resources, especially considering they had to navigate a two-legged preliminary round tie against the mighty Real Sociedad before advancing. The core of Robson's philosophy was built around unity, tactical adaptability, and exploiting every opportunity. He understood that at Ipswich, unlike the money giants of England and Europe, they couldn't afford individual brilliance or over-reliance on star players. Instead, he needed each player to buy into a system, to understand that their collective effort would be greater than the sum of their individual parts. His tactics were fluid, often changing formations during a match depending on the opponent and the flow of the game. This flexibility caught many teams off guard, making Ipswich unpredictable and dangerous. However, the true essence of Robson's genius lay in his man management. He had a knack for motivating his players, fostering a sense of belonging and instilling belief in them. Regardless of whether they were first-choice players or those warming the bench, each member of the squad felt valued and knew their role in achieving the team's objectives. This camaraderie was pivotal in creating a strong bond within the squad, one that extended beyond the realm of football into the hearts and minds of the fans. They became a force to be reckoned with, capable of competing against the heavyweights of English and European football. But the road to success was not without its bumps. In the 1973-74 season, Ipswich Town found themselves in a precarious position. Having made a decent start to the league campaign, they were poised to challenge for the title. But the prospect of European football loomed on the horizon, bringing with it the risk of fixture congestion and player fatigue. The task before Robson was monumental: maintain a strong league campaign while making an impact in Europe. The solution lay in the manager's tactical repertoire and his ability to motivate and manage his players. Robson's genius lay in his capacity to maximize the available resources. While Ipswich might not have boasted the expansive playing budgets of their rivals, they did have a rich vein of talent that, if managed correctly, could rival anyone. Robson's keen eye for talent was evident in his transfer dealings. He brought in players like Mick Mills, Paul Cooper, and John Wark, who not only complemented each other's skills, but also bought into Robson's philosophy. This blend of tactical discipline and man management paid dividends. In a tightly contested league season, Ipswich secured a runner-up position once again, showcasing their resilience and consistency. In Europe, they faced stiff competition, but the Tractor Boys held their own, proving that they belonged on the big stage. What sets Robson apart was his attention to detail. He meticulously analyzed his opponents, identifying their strengths and weaknesses to devise effective game plans. His players were not just expected to follow instructions, they were integral to the process. Robson encouraged his squad to voice their opinions and contribute to the team's tactical setup, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility. This collaborative approach not only boosted team morale, but also led to more effective, adaptable strategies. However, the true test of Robson's managerial prowess lay in his ability to keep his players fresh and focused across multiple competitions. Juggling league fixtures and European nights required a delicate balancing act. Robson's solution was simple yet effective: squad rotation. He had a deep understanding of player psychology and knew the importance of keeping fringe players engaged. By giving them opportunities in less high-profile matches, he ensured that when key players needed rest, their replacements were not only ready but eager to perform. This not only helped manage fatigue, but also created a sense of unity and purpose throughout the squad. Every player felt valued and knew that they had a role to play, regardless of how big or small it might seem. Robson's tenure at Ipswich culminated in the 1981 UEFA Cup final against another English club, Aston Villa. It was a moment of pure elation for both Robson and his team, capping off a remarkable journey that had begun years earlier with a shared vision and unwavering determination, but it was far from the end. His next challenge came when he took the reins at PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands in 1982. Here, Robson found himself in a different context, yet the principles remained the same. The Dutch league was a battle of wits and consistency, demanding a different set of skills to conquer. Unlike the more physical English game, the Dutch Eredivisie called for a more tactical and technically refined approach. At the same time, the allure of European competitions beckoned, offering both prestige and the chance to pit his wits against some of the continent's finest managers. In the face of such challenges, Robson displayed the tactical versatility that had become his hallmark. His teams played with a controlled aggression, seamlessly transitioning between defense and attack. Gone were the days of all-out attacking football. Now the philosophy was more nuanced, more tactical, yet no less effective. Under his leadership, PSV Eindhoven not only dominated domestically, winning 3 league titles in 5 years, but also made significant strides in European competitions. Teams like AC Milan, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich were no longer insurmountable obstacles. They were puzzles to be solved, challenges to be conquered. Robson's meticulous preparation, his ability to read the opposition and exploit their weaknesses gave his teams an edge. It didn't matter if the opponents were Ajax, Feyenoord, or any other formidable team from England, Spain, or Italy. PSV under Robson were more than capable of holding their own. But it was in the realm of man management that Robson truly excelled. He understood the intricacies of human psychology and used it to his advantage. Each player responded differently to various situations. Some thrived under pressure, others wilted. Robson's job was to identify these traits and utilize them to the team's benefit. He motivated his players not through fear or intimidation, but through inspiration and a shared sense of purpose. His teams weren't just a collection of talented individuals. They were an ensemble, a symphony of skill and strategy conducted by the maestro of Portman Road. As the years rolled by, Robson's reputation grew. He wasn't just a successful manager, he was a beacon of tactical innovation, a leader who could unite players and fans alike, and a strategist who could outmaneuver any opponent. His secret lay in his adaptability, his willingness to evolve and refine his methods while staying true to his core philosophy. In Portugal, Robson continued to make waves. This time at FC Porto, the Primeira Liga was a proving ground for aspiring champions, a testing ground where only the relentless and the resolute could claim victory, and Robson was up for the challenge. Managing Porto was more than a job for Robson, it was a mission. A mission to elevate a team to the pinnacle of European football. The task was daunting, but not impossible. The Portuguese league was fiercely competitive, featuring traditional powerhouses like Benfica and Sporting CP. At the same time, the lure of European competitions, particularly the Champions League, beckoned with its promise of glamour and glory. Despite the challenges, Robson's response was resolute. His teams played with a controlled intensity, a perfect blend of defensive discipline and rapid counterattacks. This tactical flexibility caught opponents off guard, making Porto unpredictable and dangerous. The work with young players was particularly fruitful. Robson's keen eye for spotting potential helped nurture talents like Paulo Futre and a very young Jose Mourinho, who served as his assistant. He wasn't just shaping players, he was molding future stars. In the 2 seasons that followed, Porto claimed back-to-back league titles while making deep runs in the Champions League. The pinnacle of his Porto reign was reaching the semi-finals in the 1986-87 season, where they were narrowly edged out by the eventual champions, Celtic. It was a testament to Robson's tactical acumen and man-management skills. Finally, the grand stage beckoned. In 1988, Robson took charge of Barcelona, one of the most storied clubs in world football. The Camp Nou was a cauldron of passion and expectation, and Robson found himself at the helm of a superstar-studded squad. Players like Ronaldo, Hristo Stoichkov, Pep Guardiola, and Luis Figo were not just teammates, they were global icons. Managing such a squad demanded not just tactical brilliance and man-management skills, but an understanding of the delicate balance of egos and ambitions. The club was also caught in a political maelstrom, with disputes between the board and the legendary Johan Cruyff overshadowing the team's performance. Amidst this turmoil, Robson stood firm, keeping his focus on the task at hand. He navigated the turbulent waters with aplomb, ensuring that the team's performance remained unaffected by the controversies off the pitch. In his 2 seasons at Barcelona, Robson delivered silverware, including the Copa del Rey and the Cup Winners' Cup. His teams played with a flair and panache that belied the tumultuous times. He managed to keep his players focused, maintaining a sense of unity and purpose that transcended the squabbles off the field. So there you have it, the blueprint for success laid bare by Sir Bobby Robson. A testament to what can be achieved with the right philosophy, a united squad, and an unwavering belief in one's methods. His legacy endures, a beacon of light for aspiring managers and a source of inspiration for all who love the beautiful game. Thank you for watching. Sir Bobby Robson's name echoes through the hallowed halls of Newcastle United, a melody that resonates with passion, determination, and an undying love for the beautiful game. To truly understand why he is eternally revered in the pantheon of the club's history, we must delve into the heart of his story, exploring the profound impact he had on the pitch and the indelible mark he left on the souls of the Geordie faithful. Born in the picturesque village of Hebburn in County Durham, Robson's roots were firmly planted in the rich footballing soil of northeast England. His journey began not in the boardrooms or the grand stadiums, but on the rugged local pitches where dreams were forged and legends were born. Growing up, Robson's life was a tapestry woven with the threads of family, football, and an unwavering sense of community. Football wasn't just a sport for him, it was a way of life. The echoes of cheers and jeers from the terraces of St. James Park, home of Newcastle United, resonated through his childhood, igniting a passion that would shape his destiny. His professional playing career took him to various clubs, including his beloved Newcastle, where he captained the team during the 1960s. However, it was on the touchline that his true brilliance would shine. After hanging up his boots, he embarked on a managerial odyssey that led him to conquer new heights in footballing excellence. Robson's managerial acumen became a force to be reckoned with. He led teams to glory in leagues as diverse as the Dutch Eredivisie with PSV Eindhoven, the Portuguese Primeira Liga with Porto, and the Spanish La Liga with Barcelona. His trophy cabinet bore testament to his tactical genius and his ability to inspire his players to reach the pinnacle of European football. Yet, amidst these continental conquests, a part of him yearned for the familiar. His heart, much like a homing pigeon, always seemed to point towards the northeast, and fate, it seemed, had a grand plan to reunite him with the place of his birth. In September of 1999, Newcastle United found themselves at a crossroads. Relegation threatened to cast a dark cloud over the club's future. Robson, sensing his team's turmoil, wasted no time in setting about the task of revitalization. His arrival wasn't heralded by fanfare or bombastic promises, but by a quiet confidence that spoke volumes of the leader he was. His first few months were a masterclass in patience and observation. He studied his squad, analyzed their strengths, and devised a strategy to harness their potential. It was a philosophy rooted in attacking football, a style that would not only turn the tide for Newcastle, but also become synonymous with the modern era of the club. As the weeks turned into months, the transformation at Newcastle was nothing short of remarkable. Robson's influence extended far beyond the technical area. He became a figurehead for the people of Newcastle, embodying their hopes, their dreams, and their unwavering support for their beloved team. His battles with larger clubs and wealthy rivals were not merely clashes on the field, they were ideological showdowns. When Newcastle faced Manchester United at Old Trafford in April 2002, Robson's men were not just representing themselves, they were standing as a testament to the power of community. They won 4-3, a victory that sent shockwaves through the footballing world and etched itself into the folklore of St. James Park. This wasn't just a win. It was a statement. A small group of lads from the Northeast had dared to conquer the reigning champions in their own backyard. It was during this time that Newcastle became more than just a football club. It transformed into a symbol of unity, of passion, and of the indomitable spirit that defines a community. In the heart of Newcastle's resurgence, there stood a player who personified the city's grit and determination, Alan Shearer. Once dubbed the people's player, Shearer's return to form under Robson's guidance was nothing short of spectacular. Robson's faith in Shearer was unwavering. He recognized the striker's abilities and, more importantly, his connection with the fans. Together, they led the line in attack, forming an understanding that went beyond the tactical. As the 2001-2002 season drew to a close, the impossible became a reality. Newcastle secured a fourth-place finish, a feat that qualified them for the UEFA Champions League. The euphoria that gripped the city was palpable. It wasn't just about the football, it was about what the club represented. Robson and his band of heroes had breathed life back into Newcastle. They had turned despair into elation, making dreams a reality. However, the magic of Robson's tenure wasn't confined to the results or the trophies. It was evident in every match, every training session, every interaction he had with the team, the staff, and the fans. He treated everyone with respect, regardless of their position, nurturing an environment of unity and purpose. In the twilight of his career, Robson was diagnosed with cancer. But even in the face of this daunting challenge, his spirit remained unbroken. He fought with the same tenacity he had displayed on the football field, inspiring not only those around him, but fans worldwide. In 2009, Sir Bobby Robson's life came to an end, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. But his legacy lived on in the hearts of the Geordie faithful. The outpouring of grief from the Newcastle fans was a testament to the bond they shared with their former manager. It wasn't just a loss for the football world. It was a profound personal loss for those who had loved him. Today, Sir Bobby Robson's name echoes through the hallowed halls of Newcastle United, a melody that resonates with passion, determination, and an undying love for the beautiful game. To truly understand why he is eternally revered in the pantheon of the club's history, we must delve into the heart of his story, exploring the profound impact he had on the pitch and the indelible mark he left on the souls of the Geordie faithful. His presence transcended the boundaries of a manager-player relationship. He was a leader, a mentor, and above all, a friend. Robson understood the pulse of the club, the city, and its people. He embraced their traditions, their values, and their unwavering passion for the game. His connection with the fans was profound, built on mutual trust and respect. He celebrated their triumphs as one of them, consoled them during setbacks, and defended their interests with unwavering loyalty. Robson's contribution to Newcastle United goes beyond statistics and accolades. It is enshrined in the hearts of generations of fans who witnessed the rebirth of their club under his leadership. His legacy lives on in the young players who now don the famous black and white stripes, carrying with them the values of hard work, dedication, and community that Robson so passionately espoused. As the years go by, the memories of Sir Bobby Robson continue to be etched in the annals of Newcastle United's history. His name is synonymous with the club's identity, a symbol of the spirit that defines the Magpies. The Sir Bobby Robson statue standing proudly outside St. James Park is a constant reminder of the man who not only led the team to glory, but captured the hearts of an entire nation. For Newcastle United fans, Sir Bobby Robson is more than a legend. He is a father figure, a beacon of hope, and a shining example of what can be achieved when passion, integrity, and love for the game come together. His story is an integral part of the club's DNA, ensuring that his name continues to reverberate through the quarters of time. And so, as the sun sets over Tyneside, casting long shadows over St. James Park, the spirit of Sir Bobby Robson lingers. In the cheers of the crowd, in the thunderous applause that greets each attack, and in the unbreakable bond between the team and the people of Newcastle. His legacy lives on not just in the history books, but in the beating heart of every true Newcastle United fan. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to share your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for more updates. See you next time.